Hello YouTube. It's me, Shakita. Yeah, please look over how I look right now. I was like this close to going to sleep. Um, Not quite to bed, but I was gonna take a quick nap while my clothes finished drying. But as I was laying down, I began to think about church today, and about testimony service, and about how I couldn't just sit there and, knowing that God has been so good to me. He has been so good to me, you know, and the semester's almost over here in college and everything. And I just thank God for keeping me, for keeping my mind, y'all. Because it's hard. It's so hard at times. It's frustrating with classes and everything. And at times it gets so lonely, so lonely, and it feels like, okay, someone once said, like, they're around a whole bunch of people, like they're surrounded by people, but yet they feel lonely. And that's the way I felt, you know. It's like nobody understands, nobody gets it. And then I began to think about how I've overcome so much in my life, and how it encourages me to talk about it. Yeah, I've talked about it many times, but to talk about it just to remind myself, that, God is with me, and God has been with me all along. Even when I feel like He's left me, He's still there. Uh, when I was around 7 months, um, my mom shot herself. And with me being so young, I never just fully understood it. I was young. So when you're at that age, you really just don't know much of anything. I don't remember her. And that makes matters even more worse. I mean, it it's good and it's bad in the same way. It's like, but I have absolutely no memory of her. I have like a couple pictures, but that's it, you know? And it hurted for a while. I thought that, that's something I would get over, but apparently you don't just get over it like that, And as I grew up, it wasn't that I didn't just like, I didn't feel like I just didn't have no mom at all. But God placed people in my life, to be there for me. My dad had a girlfriend at the time that I was so close to. She was awesome. She was she was Caucasian, and I that's one thing I'm thankful about, because a lot of people, they are against um you know dating outside of your race. But I thank God that I experienced it, and I got a chance to see that. Therefore, I mean, I don't trip, like everybody else. They're like, do you see that white person with that black race? I mean, it doesn't matter to me, because what color is love? Doesn't matter what color the person is, as long as they love each other and they're treating each other right, you know. Um, but anyway, uh, they were in my life, and yeah, he had some good choices. Like, it was like he was looking for love, because he was married to my mom, and he was looking for love and everything. And when that relationship didn't work out, um, he moved on, and the other choices were not so good. And that was like, that was some points in my life where I cried many nights. And then, like, my granny, she actually raised me while my dad was on the road. That was with his first girlfriend or whatever. And she did an awesome job at raising me. I was a somewhat difficult child, though. I talked back, which was bad. It was bad. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, yeah. I shouldn't have done it and everything. But yeah, she raised me, and she eventually developed Alzheimer's disease, which was a very hard time. That was terrible. It was frustrating on each and every one of us. It was hard seeing her like that, the same granny that raised me. Now we have to change her diaper, and it was crazy. Like, I remember there was one time in particular where I just got to the point I was like, I can't do it no more. I can't I can't deal with it anymore. God, just take me now. Like, literally, Lord, take me now, because I can't deal with it. And I was just going out of my head, because it was crazy. It was tough. And so she eventually passed, and that was, I told myself when I was little that, if something happened to her, I don't know what I would do. You know, that's hard. Losing the same person that raised you, and losing your biological mom. That's hard. Y'all, that is so hard. And it was hard on me. But I thank God, that God placed, you know, people in my life for a reason. People in my life to encourage me. And at that time, when my grandma, when she died and everything, I was in an upper bound program, and I really didn't have time to just break down and just go into a depressed mode. I didn't have time for that. I had to go to class and all that, and it was like they didn't understand. I just lost my granny, just the same day they wanted me to come back. I was like, "Are you serious?" But I had to bounce back, and I was like, "Okay, well." So I went and everything, and now I can understand it. I didn't have time to be depressed, and I thank God for that. And I know that as I look back over my life, over every single thing I've been through, that it was God that kept me. Yeah, there were times where I literally wanted to just commit suicide. I've had many, many suicidal thoughts, y'all. Even this year, because it gets hard in life, it gets so heavy at times, and it's like we try to deal with it on our own. I know I do at times, and I tried to handle it on my own, but it was weighing me down. It was tearing me down, and I was getting weaker and weaker. But then I had to realize, that I can't rely on my own strength to get through this. I can't rely on my own power, but I have to rely on God and give it to Him, because I can't fix it. I don't have all the answers. I got to give it to God. And I just want to encourage y'all, that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, but God is able, you know, even with bills and everything. Like, our lights had got cut off in August, and that was such a rough time for me. I'm in I'm in college now, and I had just transitioned from high school to college and everything, and I don't have a job, I don't have a license or none of that. And it's hard, knowing that, okay, well, our lights might get cut off, and we weren't staying at that home. We were relocating, but you know, I'm just getting ready to go to school and everything, and we kind of needed the electricity there. So um yeah, but there was one moment where our electricity was supposed to be off. Like, seriously, y'all, when they tell you they're gonna cut your lights off, they're literally supposed to be off. And we went home that day, and I was like so stressed that week. It was terrible. I was crying, I was crying, I was crying, tear after tear and everything. And it came to a point where I was just like, man, yeah, I just didn't know how I was gonna get through it. I was just, it was terrible. And so later, we went home and everything, I am expecting the lights to be off. I was dreading it. I was like, I don't even want to go home. I wanted to go home, but not on when these type of circumstances are going on. And so we went home. I went in the house, went into my room, and I happened to look up, and I looked at my dish, with my direct TV satellite thingy, yeah, and our electricity was on. And yeah, I didn't even know how to react, but I was like, no, nobody but God. Nobody but God. That didn't happen by coincidence. It was like 100. The weather, the temperature down there was like crazy. Like we were in the 110s and stuff this year. So I thank God for making a way out of no way. They're off right now as I speak. But I believe that God has a plan and that God is going to work it out. God knows what we need and when we need it. And right now, I really don't need it. We really don't need it. But God knows what we need when we need it, and He's able to provide. He knows what His children need. He knows what's best, and He knows how much we can handle. And there's so much in my life that I thought I couldn't handle. I didn't think I could handle losing my mom. I didn't think I could handle losing my granny, my pawpaw. I didn't think I can go through, being touched as a younger child, as a kid or whatever. I didn't think I could, I felt ashamed, And when situations like that happen, I mean, it kind of makes you feel like it's your fault. And for the longest, like, I didn't talk about it. And y'all are lucky because, like, I haven't really just talked about it much. But yeah, I just wanted to encourage you all. And when you find yourself feeling, down and depressed and just, at your breaking point, I encourage you to look back over your life and look how far you've come. It's not by coincidence that you've made it this far. And I thank God that I'm here at this second. Each second is a blessing. I thank God that I made it this far. I made it to college. A lot of people didn't even make it to college. They didn't make it through the first week or the second week or the third week. I thank God that I'm in college and that I'm on my way to the next semester. I thank God for that. I thank God for the grace that I have, because it wasn't me. It's not. I can't take the credit for it. It was God. And like this week, last week actually, I took a psychology test. We had a psychology test, and the day before, we had Bible study at our church, and I missed and everything. And I felt bad. I was like, I should have been at Bible study. I really should have, and everything. And I felt so bad. And I was asleep. That's why I didn't go. Plus, I was tired. So yeah. But I didn't go, and I studied that night. I didn't study as much as I used to, as much as I would usually. But I kind of scanned it and went over it and everything. And we didn't have the post test online or nothing. So I was kind of like, ugh, okay, God help. So I go on there Saturday, and I look at my yeah, it was Saturday, and I look at my grade, and I was like, there was one test where I thought, like, for sure I need a miracle from God, because my mind felt so blank. I felt slow. I felt stupid. And I looked on there, and I had an 88. I was like, nobody but God. Nobody but Jesus. And we sang this song at our church, who gets the glory in this house? Who gets the glory in this house? God gets the glory. God gets the glory. Not Shakita, because it's not about me, but God gets the glory. For every single thing that I went through in my life, there's a lot. I could have took the wrong path so easily. I could have went out in the street. I could have had a baby by now, but I didn't. I thank God for keeping me. And I thank God for an awesome parents who never gave up on me. Yeah, we had many ups and downs, but I thank God, for just allowing me to make it this far. I thank God for my dad, for not leaving me and for doing the best that he could and for just looking out for me and for being so amazing. I thank God that I have a dad. So many times I've just I've allowed myself to go into depression mode because I don't have a mom. But I thank God that I have my dad. Having a mom, not having a mom is hard. It's hard, especially for me as a young lady. But I thank God for the people that He placed in my life. I thank God for my pastor. Thank God for my pastor for being there for me, for loving me, for letting me know that I am somebody that I can make it. No matter what the situation looks like, I can make it and I will make it. And I thank God for that. I thank God for each and every person that said, you know what, your mom's not here, but you know what? Hey, I may not be there all the time, but I'll be your mom. I'll be there. I'll be there for you. And I thank God for that. I really do. And I just needed to get that out, like, seriously. Because I was seriously planning on going to sleep, but I was like, I gotta tell somebody. I just gotta tell somebody because, I don't know who's gonna watch this, but I just pray that it blesses somebody. I don't want the credit from this, but I pray that God gets all the credit. He gets all the honor because it's not about me, but it's about Him. It's God that allows me to see each day. It's God that gave me the ability to click on webcam and click record. It's God that God is the reason why I exist. I wouldn't be here. And it's God that is keeping me day to day. And it's God that's keeping you day to day. And it's God that is going to get you through your situation. He's still able to make a way. He is still able to heal. He's still able to set free and to deliver and to save. A lot of times it's like we believe like, okay, yeah, God can heal. But then the devil's on our shoulder and he's like, no, I don't see the results. I don't see things changing right now. But yeah, the devil is a liar. God is still a healer. God is still a healer. Not just of mental diseases, not just of spiritual, but He can heal you physically. So yeah, anywho, I am going to let y'all go. Y'all have a very blessed night, and I am going to get ready to go to bed because I'm kind of tired. So I'm out.